a statement by the press secretary to the governor, office of the acting governor, Kenneth Odushola, Adetuwa said the timely In the meantime, the Ondo State government has assured residents that more palliative measures to cushion the effect of the removal of fuel subsidy will soon take off. Commissioner for Finance and Chairman Ondo State Palliative Committee, Wale Akintarewa, said pensioners and vulnerable persons will start receiving 10,000 naira palliative by the end of the month. Osrc Zaid Aribisala reports that the Commissioner also spoke on other wide range of issues around financial position of the state at an event organized by the State Council of Nigeria Union of Journalists. The report.
Ondo State Commissioner for Finance is a special guest at the penthouse of Nigeria Union of Journalists, Ondo State Council. His visit to the penthouse alongside Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Finance, Jide Ekpobomini, is to attend a program organized by the union tagged Ondo Media Agenda. While welcoming him to the midst of journalists drawn from various organizations, the NUJ chairman, Leki Adegbite, said the initiative is an opportunity for key policymakers to interface with journalists with the aim of providing accountability and setting agenda geared towards bettering society.
We feature political office holders to...
After another, the journalists took turns to inquire on salient issues, among them palliative measures designed by the government, state of several infrastructure projects, transparency in governance, and internally generated revenues.
You have just been appointed on the revenue committee by President Tinubu.
Mr. Akintarewa, who is also the chairman of the State Palliative Committee, reviewed that Ondo State has received just 3,000 bags of rice, as against its 1,000 bags promised by the federal government to cushion the effect of subsidy removal. The commissioner assured that pensioners and vulnerable persons will begin to get 10,000 naira palliative funds by the end of August.
I can assure you that beginning from this month, delivering, I can assure you that pensioners by the end of this month will get promises. You now have to put structures in place to be able to deliver on them. So it takes time. To even get enough people to supply the quantum is not a joke. Storage is an issue. Securing the place where it's stored is an issue.
Despite setbacks recorded on some road projects like the Oda Road due to contractors' demand for variation in the face of increased market prices, the Finance Commissioner said all projects will be delivered in due time.
The biggest legacy this government will be leaving on Ondo State is the deep sea port. The passion with which the governor, has pursued the issue of the deep sea port is something worth commending.
Mr. Akintarewa, a member of the Presidential Tax Reform Committee, who attributed the increase in Ondo State internally generated revenue from 500 million to 3 billion naira monthly under the Akeredolu administration as a result of his principal's passion for the state's development, expressed confidence that President Tinubu remains committed to masses' welfare. The Nigerian Union of Journalists in the state says it will continue to engage those in public and private sectors to make them accountable. Sahid Aribisala, Osrc News.
In a related development, residents of Accra, the Ondo State capital, have solicited the intervention of the federal government on the incessant hike in the pump price of petrol. while lamenting the hardship people are going through since the removal of the fuel subsidy by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on assumption of office. The residents said life is becoming unbearable for them. Omorola Ubinji has details.
Currently, premium motor spirit, popularly called petrol, is being sold between 570 and 600 naira in Ondo State. While some are selling, some filling stations are shut, indicating the non-availability of fuel. This is the third time in 10 weeks that the pump price of petrol will be hiked with reasons due to landing cost of petrol, foreign exchange scarcity, and deteriorating exchange rates, which borders Nigerians. Some residents in Akure expressed disappointment over the incessant...
It's not good. Very woefully than before. In this place now, I thought we were selling 579, but if we go to Abale, it will be 630, 620 in various of the filling stations.
So for recent, when they were selling the fuel around 500 naira, half tank, it's not up to half tank anyway. I fill it with a 20,000 naira. You understand? 20,000. I was ashamed. In fact, I even brought out my jerry can. I just said, just give me 20,000 naira fuel. You know, hoping that it will that it will fill and it will remain. Fortunately, it just consume all.
They want government's genuine intervention as the situation is getting out of hands.
We are not convenient, so from Abale to Akure is 200 naira. It's too much. There's no money in the town. You can help us appeal to the government to solve these things out. People are saying 617 per litre. It's not convenient.
Reports have earlier filtered in that the pump price of petrol may be on the verge of another upward review, as information gathered from oil marketers suggests that the increase may be much sooner than later. This prediction, according to reports, is backed up by new information about the surge in the landing cost of petrol, which has gone up by 37.4% month-on-month to 632 naira 17 kobo per litre in July 2023, up from 460 naira per litre in June 2023, aside additional expenses like transportation and taxes, which could push the final price to nearly 700 naira per litre. As at the time of filing this report, there are no longer queues at any of the filling stations in Akure, even as sales continue. Omoriola Ubinji, Osrc News.
Moving on to other stories, towards effective local government administration, a modern legislative chamber for lawmakers of the Ifedore local government area has been inaugurated. The chairman of Ifedore local government, Alex Oladimeji, who facilitated the project, emphasized that a conducive atmosphere will help the lawmakers churn out laws that will bring growth and development to the local government area and, by extension, the state. Osrc's John Pius was there and now completes the story.
Chieftains gathered at the premises of the local government secretariat in Igbaraoke for the inauguration of a modern legislative chamber for the local government area. In his opening remarks, the chairman of Ifedore local government, Alex Oladimeji, emphasized the importance of the legislative arm of government to the people at the grassroots in terms of making bylaws for good governance, adding that the new chamber will create a conducive atmosphere for the legislators to carry out their duties effectively. Oladimeji further thanked the Ondo State Governor for the administration's developmental strides across all sectors of the state.
It is my great pleasure to stand in your midst today for the official commissioning of the Alo Legislative Chamber built by our administration for the use of the legislative arm of government and for the benefit of humanity. The edifice will create conducive atmosphere for our legislators, and it will also boost their morale in carrying out their official duties, which invariably affect the welfare and well-being of EDG of the local government.
We hereby commission this legislative quarters in the name of the Father, of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.
The Olowa of Igbaraoke, Oba Adefarakanmi Agbede, appreciated the chairman of the local government, noting that the move will enable lawmakers have robust engagements to better the local government, while calling for proper handling of the chamber.
We will continue to remember you for good in this local government. You have shown your part that yet you have contributed immensely to the development of this local government. The others are happy within the period we are here, and we hope that this will continue to carry it along in your political career.
For the lawmakers, the establishment of the edifice will enhance quality service delivery that would usher in rapid development to the area.
Today is one of my happiest days on this earth. So, because when we wanted to start this project, the chairman said this is the project we are going to embark on. And we now said how, but here we are today. Glory be to Almighty God that we were able to complete the project as we have been doing before. Because we were here to represent our wards across the local government. So we have been doing well, and I also applaud the honourable colleagues that we should put more and do more.
Efforts such as this will strengthen the legislative arm of the government at the grassroots level and the state at large for progress and development. Joy Pius, Osrc News.
In another development, indigenes of Ondo State have commended the Ondo State House of Assembly for passing into law a bill for the creation of new local council development areas, LCDAs. The move by the legislative arm of government is sequel to the submission of a report by the Committee of the Whole House. House of Assembly correspondent Omoshile Adesoye-Ajayi reports.
The House of Assembly had last week held a public hearing to ensure fairness, equity and justice in the creation of local government development areas in the state. While submitting the reports of the whole House after scaling through the third reading during plenary presided over by the Speaker Olamide Oladiji, the Deputy Speaker Abayomi Akinruntan noted the need for continued existence of peace in spite the creation of new LCDAs. He equally said there is need for State Surveyor General and his team to map out of all the communities in order to avoid communal clashes in future.
Having examined the bill critically, both our public hearing and parliamentary meeting, the House hereby adopts the provision contained herein. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The majority leader of the House, Oluwole Ogunmolashoye, who moved a motion for the bill to be read the third time and subsequently passed into law, appreciated the committee for a job well done, and the motion was seconded by a lawmaker representing Akure South Constituency 1, Olajide Oguntodu.
On behalf of this House, we appreciate all the members that participated in this bill. And we must also use this opportunity to appreciate the Ondo State Mr. Governor that did it fit, that proposed this bill to this honorable House. And we know with the passage of this bill, if this bill can become a law, it will have more value to the good people of Ondo State.
The Speaker, Olamide Oladiji, thanked the Governor for the initiative, which he noted will foster more development at the grassroots.
I wish to bring to the notice of this to the entire people of Ondo State that the Committee of the Whole House has painstakingly looked into the agitation and complaint.
The bill for the creation of additional 33 LCDAs to the existing 18 local governments is in line with the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as part of efforts to bring government closer to the people and, by extension, generate development to the grassroots. From Ondo State House of Assembly, Omoshile Adesoye-Ajayi, Osrc News.
The Owale of Ikare Akoko in Akoko Northeast, Oba Adeleke Adedoyin Adegbite II, has described the The Ondo State Ministry of Agriculture has been challenged to rise to the occasion of contributing to food sufficiency towards addressing the acute hunger Nigerians are passing through. Callers on Sunshine 96.5 FM Alala's Current Affairs program Akperu through the challenge, while also urging the federal government to focus more on alleviating the poverty in the land. Some of the callers, including Mr. Tajidin from Owena Ijesha in Osrc State and Comrade Joshua from Idore, questioned the rationale behind the money handouts to senators while they were going on recess at a time many Nigerians are languishing in hunger and poverty. Some others, including Mr. Olaito from Ikole Ekiti, Mr. Wale from Ado Ekiti, and Damilola from Ondo West local government area, called on Nigerians to take agriculture seriously at a time like this, while also urging government at all levels to provide more incentives to farmers towards enhancing food security. Now, it's been 40 years since the August 16, 1983 tragic post-election crisis that claimed several lives and caused destruction of properties in Akure, the Ondo State capital. In commemoration of the sad event, which has now necessitated an annual special prayer session tagged Akure Praise, sons and daughters of Akure gathered to seek God's face for the town's development and prosperity. Osrc's Said Aribisala reports that the DG of Akure, Obalade Toyinbo Alade Lucy, enjoined all Akure-speaking communities to be united for progress. Report.
Despite the heavy downpour, the DG of Akure, Obalade Toyinbo Alade Lucy, led other sons and daughters to the Akure City Hall for the second edition of this program tagged Akure Praise with the theme New Beginnings. Also present at this gathering are traditional rulers from various communities. The Akure Praise program, which commenced in 2022, holds every August 16 in commemoration of the crisis that engulfed the kingdom on that day in 1983, now 40 years in 2023. The gloomy day in the history of Akure Kingdom witnessed the destruction of lives and property of prominent indigents, but this annual prayer is designed to seek the face of God for the town's prosperity while healing the wound of those moments.
Last year, we had the maiden edition of this program, Akure Praise, where the siege is over. Confession was made, while evil covenants were broken.
Different clergy from various denominations took to the podium to offer prayers of forgiveness of sins arising from the 1983 crisis and prayers to shut every door of a timely death.
To me, August 16 is extremely significant. It has to take the grace of God for me to be telling my own story now. But I hope and pray that this tragedy of 40 years will never repeat itself in Akure. And I pray for all the coming generations not to have the spirit to go to war just because they disagree politically.
Special prayers for salvation and understanding of God's purpose for the creation of Akure were also rendered.
It's good as we come together to pray, but everything starts from individuals. Personal relationship with God, very important.
After that incident, Akure digging, they've resolved that ugly incident will not happen again. A lot of election, not perfect since then, but people, they've resorted that if you are not happy, go to the law court.
After an intense prayer session, the Akure monarch, Obalade Lucy, took the stage with a message of unity and joining all Akure-speaking communities to unite for development.
Let's come together. Come together so that we can move forward. You have Akure continue to move forward.
the families of some of those who lost their lives to the 1983 tragic event like Fagba Migbe, Agumbiade, and others also received prayers.
I'm happy to be part of this event. This is what my father stood for. My father stood for peace, stood for unity, stood for progress. So I'm glad to be here.
As the second edition of Akure Praise comes to an end, the message of unity rings loudest. But to achieve this, it has become the responsibility of every indigene to spread the message, both home and abroad. Sahid Aribisala, Osrc News.
The need for Nigerian leaders to harness potentials of youths in order to place the country on a high pedestal among its peers has been stressed. District Governor, Lions Club International District 404A4 Nigeria, Dr. Koforola Jegede, gave the charge during activities marking this year's Youth International Day in Akure, the Ondo State capital. Omoriala Ogbeji reports that the theme for this year's International Youth Day is Green Skills for Youths Towards a Sustainable World.
Lions Club International District 404A4 Nigeria, in collaboration with Leadership Experience Opportunity (LEOs) of the district, put together this symposium to celebrate the youth. The event is part of the club's vision to empower citizens, volunteers, and partners to improve the well-being and strengthen communities through humanitarian services. The theme for this year's International Youth Day, Green Skills for Youth Towards a Sustainable Growth, centered on the need to help young men and women discover themselves in order to effectively play their part in building a viral nation. District Governor, Lions Club International District 404A4, Dr. Koforola Jegede, in her address said, youths are the nation's hope, as their contributions are needed to help redeem the image of the nation in the global market. According to her, the youths are more knowledgeable in information, communications, technology, hence the need to encourage and nurture them for the good of the land.
I want to focus